Hi, this is Nicholas Yock, a registered migration agent from Pathway to Oz. And today I'm going to talk to you about, what's your migration plan B? So, in life, as in migration, sometimes everything doesn't go to plan. This video is sort of designed to give you an outline of, why it's important to have a plan B, just in case any unforeseen circumstances occur. So some common examples are perhaps you run out of time on your visa, perhaps you can't pass the English test, perhaps the sponsorship that your employer promised you fell through, perhaps there's changes in immigration policy, perhaps there's a global pandemic. There are a million things can change, and it's always good to have a bit of a backup. Look, I think especially in this current climate, it's important too. And today I'm going to give you a few examples of some previous clients of ours where, they've gone to their migration plan B and have eventually still reached their permanent residency goals. So example one is a previous client of ours who was a carpenter. Now he was on a working holiday visa and he was a fully qualified carpenter from back home. We intended to lodge the state nominated subclass 491 visa. However, as time approached, it became clear that we weren't actually going to get his skill assessment in time. Look, skill assessing bodies can take a lot longer, especially in the current circumstances. And you obviously need that before you do apply for the visa. The original plan B for him was to go offshore and wait for the skill assessment to be approved and then apply from offshore. However, obviously because of COVID, he couldn't go. So consequently, we needed to keep him here, with partial work rights. So we applied for a student visa. Whilst actually the visa was processing, the student visa, his skill assessment came through. We then received the nomination from state migration and applied for the 491 state nominated or regional nominated visa. So he obviously wanted to go from the working holiday visa directly to the 491. Bit of a, roundabout way, and he went the working holiday visa, student visa, 491. So eventually he got to his pathway, and that plan B really helped him out. So example two is a student who was studying to become a chef in Australia. He was now on the graduate work visa. His plan had always been to, study graduate work visa on the graduate work visa, complete the job ready program, and then, apply for, the permanent state nominated visa after that. However, due to issues with his employer, he was not able to complete the assessment in time, which was, wasn't great. We were running out of time, and fortunately, we were able to look into a few different options for him. So he had a solid working relationship with his new employer. So, this led us to applying for the temporary employer-sponsored visa, the TSS visa, which didn't require the skill assessment. This was not our first choice, obviously, but it allowed him time to remain in Australia, full work rights, until we got everything sorted. Look, eventually we did get everything we need, but by this time he'd actually already worked in the occupation for 3 years at the relevant skill level. So we didn't even need to go for the state nominated visa. We could actually go for the permanent employer sponsored visa, the ENS visa 186. So look, initially he planned to go student visa 485 190. However, ran out of time. So we went student visa, graduate visa, employer sponsored visa, and then the permanent employer sponsored visa, the 186. He could have also gone student visa, graduate visa, employer sponsored visa to the state nominated visa if he wanted to. But look, he was happy with his employer, so he decided to stay with them for the permanent employer-sponsored visa. Look, ultimately, it got him to his goal of PR, which was great. So, whatever way you go, as long as you get to where you're going, it makes sense. So these are just a couple of examples of our previous clients' migration plan B, and why it really helps to have that, that plan B, C or D, backing you up. Some other common visas which are used for a plan B, well, obviously the big one's the partner visa, the ultimate get out of jail free card. You've then got things like the training visa, the subclass 407, student visa, employer sponsored visa, student dependent or just dependent on your, if you've got another partner, you can be added onto their visa. Look, as long as it gets you to your goal, you might have to go to in a bit of a roundabout way, but you get there in the end. In addition to this as well, it might not always be about applying for a different visa. Potentially it could be moving to a new location where it is easier to apply for certain other visas. So sometimes just moving to like a regional location will open up a lot more regional visa options for you. Look, I hope this has given you a little food for thought. I think planning ahead is really important. And I think about, you want to have your goal, which is what you want to do, but then having some backup pathways just in case it doesn't work out. I think that's very important too. Look, so I hope you found this information, useful. And if you do have any migration questions, feel free to contact Pathway to Oz. Thank you.